This tip's going viral right now, but I can't understand why it's missing this one thing. The idea is to work on the non-negotiable to stop thins, tops and fat missed strikes with a fairway wood. At first glance, it sounds simple, but why is it blowing up online? Today, I'm going to reveal the methods, break it down, add my own spice to this, and show you different ways to apply it, whether you're a beginner, mid-handicapper, or single-figure player. Now, we're not just like any other boring tip. This is going to break it down to 3 levels. Let's start with level 1. Now, these are the ideas. So many golfers with their fairway woods, they go to me, I'm hitting them bad because I'm lifting my head. Never. That is wrong. Never believe that advice. So the first thing we need to do is have good foundations. If we've got a house and they've got good foundations, it won't fall over. So, many people believe we want to have this fairway wood like a driver on that left heel. Please stop that. I want it to be forward at the very least, okay, this is as far forward as you have to have it, a club head inside your left heel. No further forward. And I'll be honest, I would maybe love like a club head and a half, because that's going to encourage you to get it further back. And that's going to help us get this angle right here more negative. Let me explain. Nice and simple. The bottom of our swing, let's say it's represented by that black line. The further forward our ball is in our stance, the more likely our black line is to fall behind that ball. Now, if you look at that, right, if my black line falls too far back and I'm trying to help the ball in the air, what is the likelihood of a top happening? Massive, absolutely massive. It's so likely to happen. Whereas I move that ball back. Now look, transfer of weight, black line moves at the same point of the ball, boof, a slightly downwards hit. And that's the secret recipe. And the final bits to add to this setup at level 1, ball position. I want you to feel, if you had a point from your sternum to your belt buckle, with driver, there would be a little bit of an angle here to promote more of an upwards hit or less of a downwards hit. Now, don't fall into that space where you're trying to set this tilt just because it looks like a mini driver. We've got to feel like there is a slight tilt, but the middle of our chest sits more on the top of the middle of our belt buckle. That is how we want to set, with a weight 50-50 and a width of stance around shoulder width apart. Normally, many people that come to me for lessons have the idea that I want to start with like 55% on this backside to really launch this ball in the air. Cardinal sin. Please never do it. Please never do it. Now, the final bit of this concept at level 1 is to feel like you make more contact with the ground, okay? Now, as we move into level 2, we'll make it more natural, but just look at the difference in this data. Most people try and hit up on it, that's the top. This, I guarantee, will be negative. Let's hit this one away. Ball position, just give it a quick check. There's no problem with that. Middle of the chest, there, not there. Right, let's give this an absolute bosh. Oh, did you just see the divot I just took and the launch that just got? That felt like the best hit I have had in a long, long time. Told you I wanted interaction with the ground, and that is proof in the pudding. Let's swiftly move on to level 2, where we build on this concept and make it way more natural. How good was that hit? This is what you can achieve so easily. And you know what? That hit was that good. If you've not already hit subscribe to this channel, please make sure you do so and turn on that bell. Go on. Do it. Many other comments that I hear are that I'm standing up through impact. That's why I top and have severely poor contact with my fairway woods. And you know what? Actually, this comment has a little bit of relevance. So the idea is, when you look at your fairway wood, you've got to trust that the technology in here is there to help you out. Now, if you notice the size of this head, what many manufacturers do, they move the center of gravity of this club low and far back. And all you got to know what that does is that helps project the ball more up. So, therefore, resist the urge to lift. Now, when you stand up and lift, you'll notice that your posture gets taller. So if I stand over this golf ball in our intended posture, like this, or back of our armpits over our toes, middle of the hip, just into our heel, that is where we want to stand. Many golfers that don't have enough weight transfer in this direction end up moving this way. Now, what that does is, think about this logically. If we take our circle and we're standing up, could that increase the likelihood of us topping? The answer to that question is yes. Imagine we kept the same distance from the ground, we would always hit the ball nicely. If we're raising this circle, now where does the middle of the ball line up? The bottom of our club. That's why we would top it as well. So, at level 2, we're going to talk through how we get that maintenance of bottom of the arc. And that is all through weight transfer. So a nice simple drill, all I want you to do is this. Place that club just at the bottom of your back. Can you see there? That's my belt buckle. That's my bottom of my back. I want you just to firstly understand what has to happen. We need a bit of weight transfer, and the simple way to feel that is our belt buckle goes over our heel, and then as we turn through, our right hip goes under our left. Now look where we move through. If you actually look at what I'm doing here, can you see how my head, if we place a line on top of it and through my spine, I'm staying roughly in the same position. I'm possibly even getting a sense of a little bit lower. Well, that's brilliant. If I'm getting lower, boof, that is what's going to help me hit my fairway wood like I never have before. So my second part of this is understanding that weight transfer on the way through. Now, once you've done a few reps like that, all I want you to do is place a tee peg just behind your golf ball. Now, the reason for this is many golfers go to me, Alex, this information is brilliant, but how do I practice it myself? How do I know if I'm doing it right or I'm doing it wrong? And this is one of the things that this viral tip was missing. It didn't give you the ability to know whether you're doing it right or wrong. So place that tee peg just a club head behind. If you weight transfer correctly, we're going to avoid that tee peg, hit that ball, make that divot. Simple as that. Should we try it? Let's see what data we get on ball number 2. Ball position, set up, weight transfer. Oh, that sounds like a rifle going off. Middle of the green from 230. We'll have a bit of that. Plus, here is the proof. 1, the tee peg is still there. And number 2, ta-da! That's 2 for 2, hitting down. Let's get into the final level, level 3. Another comment that I hear is, I'm trying to hit it too hard. And yes, let's stop that. Always have that idea in your mind. I would rather you move with quality, not speed. So, I get the idea now that moving in level 2, we're moving down and through like this to help us move that black line, the bottom of our arc, ahead of the ball, allowing us to hit down. Now, I want you to get this idea that you might dump that club out early out of your mind, because, look, watch this. If I want that impact position that we've desired, our right shoulder moves down, a little bit of bend in our right arm, and we're here, right? That is where we are. So our wrists have made that move, correct? Stay there for me, this is really important. If we place a line on the end of my club head there, and I make that position where I have a little bit of bend in my right arm and a little bit of extension in my right wrist, what does that club head do? It comes closer to us. So if we did that down at the golf ball, right, and I stayed up here and just made the correct wrist move, the club head's in the air. So how do we get there? Boof. There. So when you say you have the idea that if you move down, you dump out early, it doesn't work like that. Because you're now understanding the wrist movement, you have to clear that void by working our hips and our weight transfer the way we just have. And you know what? That is a real bingo moment for you. So this is super important. Let's take a few steps over this way because we're not always going to hit the fairway. When we're on the fairway, we want to feel a little bit steeper into the ball. However, let's take a few steps this way because when we hit it in the semi-rough, It's always quite inviting, isn't it? It's like teed up a little bit, it's like, ooh, that looks nice. And we all prefer it. You know, when it's teed up on something like that, what you can get away with is not having your ball as back in your stance. It can be more a club head inside, not a club head and a half, because it is already slightly teed up. It's already a little more advantageous. Oh, there is 3 beautiful golf shots.